This is a fully 3D printed Toyota 4Runner RC car. It's glossy, it's aggressive, and yes, it's fast. But it wasn't always like this. I destroyed differentials, drive shafts, arms, I melted plastic parts. And after a year of redesigning everything, it finally became a reliable 4-wheel drive RC car. It started with gears. Over a year I tested different 3D printed differentials. All of them sucked. I mean, you can build a plastic differential, but it will not hold as well as metal. So the option was clear. Critical drivetrain parts had to be metal. So I chose steel differential gears. And because this is a 4-wheel drive build, I needed 2 of them. Of course, I designed custom housings to protect them from dirt. Next, I needed some screws to hold everything in place. I was so tired of screwing them into plastic, so I decided to use threaded inserts. It takes almost no effort to hot press them, but it saved me so much energy when I needed to reassemble everything again and again. Then I continued building from the housings and needed to accommodate the wheels. So I built 2 arms that hold a wheel hub. Of course, these arms were redesigned a few times because they broke during testing, but eventually I finalized them. Next, I needed to transfer the torque to the wheels. And again, at this scale, plastic drive shafts twist, flex and fail. And it's not only about 3D printed parts. I easily broke Traxxas factory drive shafts because they use plastic in cheaper models. Definitely it's no go for me. I took metal shafts made for 1/18 scale cars. In previous projects I melted plastic from friction. Now I don't want to make the same mistakes, so I am adding bearings to the wheel hubs to make the drive smooth. I was about to build a basher, not a drag queen, so shock absorbers were a must. I found these oil shocks online. They fit perfectly and protect the plastic arms from being crushed. That completes the front and rear drivetrains. Next, I wanted real power. Most of 1/18 scale RC cars use small motors. The price jump to the next size isn't dramatic, so I went bigger. More power, more fun, who is judging? But the bigger motor changed everything. Fitting it into a compact chassis was tight. Clearances, mounting angles, gear alignment, it sits tightly now. The real challenge though was stopping the budget from exploding. That's why I designed and printed the motor gears, the center shaft gear and the shaft itself. They're not as light or as refined as metal, but they're strong enough, and they keep the build accessible. Then came the hardest part – steering. Limited space, material limits, no room for error. I redesigned the steering linkage at least 10 times. Eventually I landed on this configuration. Compact, strong enough and responsive. It works now, but soon I will release a second version using metal aftermarket rod ends and a stronger servo motor. That's the upgrade path. At that point I had power, but not capacity. That's when the 3S LiPo entered the project. Lithium isn't the safest chemistry, but it delivers serious performance. But long runs revealed a new enemy – heat. After about 15 minutes of testing, the motor overheated. The gears softened and then it slipped. More power exposed a weak link. So I added active cooling heatsink and fans. And if you're wondering why the fans are mounted in that strange position, here is the unexpected part. Even though the manufacturer claimed the cooling kit was compatible with this motor, the internal magnet created enough resistance to stop the fans from spinning. The motor was fighting its own cooling system. I redesigned that setup multiple times, changed orientation, adjusted spacing, rerouted airflow. Eventually it worked, and in this case it was worth it. The car now runs for 30 long minutes on a single pack. Then came the motor controller, the ESC. I chose a brushed setup on purpose. Budget, budget and budget. The RadioLink ESC checked every box. Done. Control was next. In previous projects I tried to minimize cost by using a Raspberry Pi Pico, Wi-Fi and a mobile phone. But as soon as I tried to pilot the RC car, I realized that RC meant to have physical controls. A touchscreen is useless for active driving when you can't look at the screen. That's why I choose a classic transmitter in the pilot's hand and a receiver in the chassis. Simple, reliable, no drama. Exactly what this car needed. By the way, I forgot to mention, All the electronics are plug and play, no soldering, no wiring headaches that make the whole build approachable even for beginners. Oh yeah, you see the rubber tires on the RC car? Initially I printed my own TPU tires and tested them head to head against rubber ones. 4 surfaces: indoor concrete, outdoor concrete, asphalt and grass. The result? TPU isn't even close. Less grip, less control, less confidence. Rubber wins, no debate. At that point the chassis was complete, and I knew one thing: this car was going to get abused. So I built Armor. The first version of Mad Max RC was basically a box with wheels, functional, brutal, built to test limits. I released a video about those tests a few months ago. The chassis survived real abuse. So the ugly test box had to go. Time for an upgrade. I disappeared into my cave for months to model a Toyota 4Runner shell. Wide stance, sharp lines, serious road presence. At RC scale it hits different, pure attitude in miniature. The remaining part was simple in theory. Print the panels, remove supports, glue the exterior pieces together. And drive. Honestly, even raw, it already looked good, but I wanted more. I wanted it to shine. So I sanded the body. Different grits. Again and again. Then filler. Then wet sanding. Then paint. And I messed it up. The paint lifted, completely ruined. Maybe it was the cold. I'm in Canada, cold is the default here. Or maybe I rushed it and printed after 24 hours instead of 48. Either way, I had to fix it. Sand again. Hit the garage. Try again. Layer by layer the color built up. This time it worked. Then clear coat. Then polishing. Slow, careful, tedious work. And finally assembly. Now look at it, from a broken test box to a glossy 4Runner that actually survives. This isn't just a print, it's a platform. And yes, every part of this platform is fully printable. If you want to build one yourself, the STL files are available. Cheers!